We check in now on the latest cattle market news with our market update, brought to you by CattleFax.
Hello, I'm Troy Bockelmann with the CattleFax Update. Last week, the USDA released the March export data for beef, pork, and poultry. While beef and poultry exports are performing well, pork exports had the largest shipment month on record, aided by shipments to Mexico in March, up 40% compared to a year ago. Of the top 5 pork markets of Canada, Mexico, Japan, and South Korea, and the Greater China region, only the Greater China region was below year-ago levels. In the first quarter of 2017, pork exports were up 17% to 1.43 billion pounds, the largest first quarter since 2012. It appears that even with the county and state level bans enacted due to cases of avian influenza found in the U.S. earlier this year, poultry exports remain unaffected. Poultry exports were 655 million pounds in March, up 12% from a year ago and 9% year to date. While poultry exports go to nearly 140 countries and often gains or losses in poultry exports can be contributed to these smaller markets, there were large increases of exports to Cuba and Angola when compared to a year ago. Currently, beef and pork exports to Mexico are above year-ago levels. Poultry exports to Mexico are down 4.4% or 19 million pounds in the first quarter. Beef exports were 234 million pounds in March, up 25% from a year ago and now up 22% year to date. Just like pork exports, the only market in the top 5 that was below a year ago is Hong Kong. Year to date, beef exports to Canada and Mexico are up 19% and 22% respectively. Decreased Australian beef supplies aided the U.S. to capture increased market share in the Asian countries of Japan and South Korea. Exports to these countries are continuing to show strength. Exports to Japan are up 44% or 60 million pounds and exports to South Korea up 22% or 22 million pounds year to date. As the year continues, exports will begin to compete with the largest shipments recorded in the second half of 2016. As such, expect beef exports to finish the year up 8%, pork exports up 7%, and poultry exports up 5% to end 17, all compared to 2016. As the expansion in the protein sector continues, it will be important for exports to achieve the year-over-year growth needed to lessen the supply pressure, helping to support domestic prices. For the Angus Report and CattleFax, I'm Troy Bockelmann.
To learn more about CattleFax, your leading source for beef industry market information, visit CattleFax.com.